Hello and welcome to the last stream of the year, at least for me. Today I'm gonna be talking about the Magnus number, and we are gonna look into who I beat, who beat somebody else, who beat Magnus, and we will see how theoretically I beat Magnus. I never did, but let me enjoy my moment. So, full disclosure, this is fully Eric Rosen's idea. He was the one who mentioned this website / idea to me, and he was like, I'm not so sure, like I really want to do it, I just don't know when. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it next week. I'm not sure if he managed to get it in his schedule, so if you if he has or if he has not, thank you. And the other thing, there's still, Club is still going to be streaming tomorrow, so just don't think this is the last stream of the year. It's just my last stream of the year, at least on YouTube. Alright, we're taking a break from Sicilian, so this is not a Sicilian game. We kind of wrapped up Nydorf last week, and we're still gonna look into never-ending Sicilians. Probably for the whole January, so bear with me. But again, I did not beat Magnus, but I beat somebody who beat somebody who beat Magnus. So my Magnus number is 3. What's yours? Check out on the website and feel free to leave a comment or chat it below. And
what is the website?
Oh,
magnusnumber.com.
Yeah, magnusnumber.com. Fair. Oh, you just wanted to say it out loud. Ah, that makes more sense. Thank you. I should have played along. Oh, man. All right. Well, yes, please feel free to check on the website, which was magnusnumber.com. Let me increase the CPU a little. All right. And without further ado, let's jump in it. So first, I'm going to show the guy that I beat. Well, he was on IM back then, he's the GM now, and I actually wanted to check to see if he crossed 2600. Not yet, but very close. I think he was like 2575, something like that. So hopefully he will cross 2600 so I can add him to the list of 2600s that, that I've managed to get points from. Alright, so this was a very interesting tournament in Switzerland. I was gonna say Zurich, and I was like, wait, that was not in Zurich. It was in Biel Open 2015, which is a very funny year. 2015 was when I was trying to actually switch federations, and I was thinking about Switzerland, so I was there a lot. And it's a whole different lifetime at this point. Okie dokie. So, chess, right? Let's go. This was a very, very interesting game because I actually remember that I prepared for this opponent, and he was, I've seen him in like other tournaments around, because I remember like we were both in like the junior championship or something, and I remember seeing him, so I knew that like I was familiar to a certain degree, and when I was preparing for him, he was always an E4 player, but with me, I was lower rated. I was like 200 or something lower than him. Actually not even 200, like 150 lower than him, and he really wanted to, I guess, beat me. And he went for D4, which is weird. Like, I don't think you should be switching your opening that drastically, just FYI, unless you're super confident in it. Alright, I played my normal ideas. I went for the my beloved Queen's Indian, and he played this D5, so I'm gonna take a moment and just gonna see how the chat feels. Also, who is calling me a crazy lady from downstairs? I mean, who's downstairs? Oh, that would be Tracy. All right, we'll have a talk, Tracy. All right. So, what do you think? When can we get a video on the banana bread defense? To be honest, this is the first time I'm hearing banana bread in chess terms. Is it just me, or Yeah, if there is a e4 b5, I'm not gonna be doing it. I would just say eat the free pawns. But all right, black to move. What to do? And please let me know if this is something that you play, because it's kind of tricky. You do have to know what you're doing. All right. So nobody's feeling like they want to share in this d5. What would they do? What is the idea behind Queen Indian defense? Let's see. The first response that comes to mind is I'm gonna sit behind the board, stare deep into your eyes, and wait for you to blunder or run out of patience, and I will enjoy that, and I will swap in and collect material and a lot of the points. It's a very, very patient game. The King's Indian defense, on the other hand, or the Grunfeld, is very boom, boom, like we're gonna castle, we're gonna attack here. Sorry, I think I hit the mic. Sorry for your ears. And I just I want to be able to attack. What's the idea? Well, for Queen's Indian defense, I'm assuming that's still Tracy, because Ben is sitting right here if you had a question he would ask me. Their idea is that I'm going to just develop. I'm going to just get my pieces out and wait for you to make decisions. I'm going to be a passive participant in the game for a little bit, and when I join back, I will let you know the power of my fists. Seriously, I'm not kidding. I have a lot of games like that I would just go like c5 or like knight e4 and f5, and the whole thing goes up. So, d5. You want to take it? It's a free pawn, at least momentarily. What is d4, knight f6, c3 called? Why do I get these questions? Alright, we're actually taking it. The idea is knight h4. They're going to kind of bother me a lot about this pawn. So I have to choose very carefully on how to proceed, because it's a pin right here, so I can't really touch this pawn, and I really need to defend it. Otherwise they take, they go e4, and then that's not a very comfortable position. So c6, logical, take, and here they went knight f5. So there's potential for take, but I do not recommend it, because then this bishop can become very monstrous. So I don't think take is a great idea. Knight f5 is a pretty good idea. Now, the ideas behind knight f5 is I want to go e4, kick your knight. When you move the knight, then I want to go like knight c3, and you still your pieces as black, the pieces are just so constricted. So you have to be able to break through somehow, right? The main line is with, first of all, let's just retreat the knight. Like, I accept my knight's position is kind of crappy. I don't want to stay out there. I don't want this e4s and everything. And I want to prepare for d5. And for some reason in the game, I was a little uncomfortable that this guy just played d4 for the first time in front of me, and he knew so much of the theory, and he had something sharp prepared, and I just didn't want to walk into whatever he had prepared. So I chose to make a move that is not really great, but it's also not, it's development. It's not great, but it doesn't also result in a excruciating future. So I went for knight a6, and he went e4. I still moved the horsey. And then here he went e5. Let's talk about e5 for a minute. What do you think about that? The other options instead of e5 could be possibly like knight c3, maybe rook e1, something a little bit more chill. He went for e5, so I want to kind of get some opinions from the chat. I see a lot of hms and ha's, and I see it in facial expressions in my in-person audience. I'm getting a strong head shake. Why not? Fair, but I'm also not attacking it just yet. It stops d5. You might want to do knight d6 as white. Oh, good question. Somebody's asking, what is the question? Well, the question is, what do you think about e5? If it's a good idea, then make sure to calculate for black. If it's a bad idea, then what else would you want to do? Also, this is a very interesting, I've been teaching a lot over the past 6 months. Oh boy. And I just finished doing the camps 9 to 4 upstairs. My poor brain. But the point is that I like with the kids that are involved, I see a lot of like recurring patterns of mistakes or like things that they would miss. The biggest thing that I see that people make mistakes about is they automatically stop thinking after certain points. Like they calculate like 2-3 moves and then they're like, okay, so I take, they take, I take, they take. Ooh, I don't like that. And they don't push one move further. So I was telling them, like I was making like a scary face and like a funny voice, and I was like, just whenever you stop thinking, just imagine this scary voice of mine that keeps telling you to push one more move and just kind of push it, just see if there's anything out there. Especially in longer games, like this was a classical rated games, so this wasn't like a blitz or rapid. Blitz or rapid, yeah, you don't have that much time to take your sweet time, but this is a very common mistake that I see. People just don't push enough. And the other thing was like the concept of loose pieces. Loose pieces or like wobbly pieces are so uncomfortable because they're a nice target, as well as you can simply blunder them in any time control. So one of the strategies that I do myself is I don't like having unprotected pieces. So e5 is a little uncomfortable because it's unprotected and it's also a target. I understand the ideas that it holds, but like you can't go d5 because, well, I mean, blunder. But you are also very comfortable playing f6. It's the target, so let's go attack it. To be fair, knight c5 is also a potential comfort zone, but f6 is what I went for. Alright, yeah, I mean, Jason, you're right. The knights are connected in the edge of the board. It's kind of weird. I agree. So f6, and my opponent, I think he was too comfortable. He miscalculated and misevaluated and all kind of misses. And he went bishop h6. Now, this is not a blunder, but it's very ambitious. It's too ambitious. If you want something like if you want some sort of an attack, you've got to start with queen g4. g6 is probably a must. Knight e6 is possible too. But let's say I do either of these, and then you still have to activate this knight. Let's say knight out here. Then you can maybe get bishop h6, and maybe get knight d2, knight out. Then this is an attack. Now you're getting your sacrificed pawn's worth. And I'm not so comfortable in this. I have to go like rook f7, then they can, you know, try to activate the knights. And I have 2 pawns up, but they have full compensation. So this is very uncomfortable for me. So queen g4 would be the best way to go. So he went for bishop h6. Obviously, I'm not going to take it because I don't really like getting checkmated. And I went for simple knight e6. Now, knight e6 is again not the best move because there's so many different ways this game can continue. taking, I felt like taking was too ambitious, like knight takes g7, and there are some interesting ideas because I have a strong center, but I don't have the heart for this knight this close to my king. I know. I mean, there is like knight h5 and the computer is surviving this, but I don't want to. If I have a choice between this or something more comfortable like this, I'm going knight e6. Alright, queen g4, and what you kind of have to go rook f7, and then he played bishop e3. Bishop e3 is a good move, and the idea behind bishop e3 is you have to move it, because I might want to just go king h8, I might want to just take over here, and I wasn't forced into playing g6 either. So they went bishop e3, I moved the king, so no more funny business on this file at least. And here again, very over ambitious. f4 is too ambitious. It doesn't really, you know, you have to develop. You can't have an attack when your pieces are just sitting there. And I was thinking about a Persian expression, but I can't translate it. It's the loose translation. Doesn't work, sorry. Just sitting there and they're doing nothing, and they're just doesn't work like that. You've got to activate it. Knight d2 is fair, knight c3 is fine, knight a3, even knight a3 will do, because you're gonna try to activate the knight. There's a question about, kind of few moves ago. Okay, let's take a small back and see what's the question about. There is a question about what if take, and okay, take, fair. What? Are you arguing d5 will leave black center? Yeah, I'm happy with this. Even if they take it, that's totally great. I still have ideas here. I'm not really worried about that. Even if I don't want to do that, rook f7, I'll kick your queen away. I still have a comfortable position. Alright, I hope I answered that question. And we were here when they got too ambitious. Alright, now f4 is a pretty bad move. I wouldn't consider this a blunder, but it's definitely a brown type of move. So what do we do? F4 is a mistake, but why?
Should we play bishop c5? Force a trade?
Say that one more time.
Should we play bishop c5 to force a trade while they're attacking?
That's also a possibility, but your bishop is fine where it is, because if this bishop is not here, knight d6 can hurt. Yes. Why?
Yes. We're threatening knight c2.
Yeah.
It's not possible because
Yep.
of f4. Yeah.
We are hungry for their pieces. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
We just wanted to hear the
Yeah.
lecture. Okay.
Just keep in mind they're also live streaming.
I'm hard to hear.
We're also live streaming.
Okay.
yeah, now this is a serious threat that they can't really stop. So opponent tried. They went knight to c3, and I continued my amazing discovery on eating material. So even if they tried to save it, I don't think it would have worked that well anyways, because now I already have extra pawn, and this is also falling, and this is a problem, and I don't really think they could have held it that well. So yeah. And so he went knight e4, and now what do you think is the best move here? Okay, there's a funny question. Why not knight a3? Well, for the same idea that I'm gonna do in the main game here, I would have done even if you played knight a3. Troy boy, I mean, the poor guy had lots of hopes and dreams. He was following his own, chasing his own GM titles and norms, and yeah, I'm fairly certain he's still sore about it. No, actually, knight a3 here or knight e4 here, bishop a6 makes a lot of sense. Just activate this guy, right? And after, if they choose to move it, well, and I mean, I don't even know what to eat. There's so many different continuations I can go for. So, yeah. Alright, so he went bishop d2 because why not? And I ended up eating more material than I ever could have hoped for. And you still have to try to play it precise, but the main goal is to simplify when you have extra material. And my opponent's only hope is some sort of an attack, so let's take that hope away. Bishop g5 might not be the most precise move. Bishop d3 seems to be the most precise one, or even taking. But I really just want to exchange stuff off. I have extra material. I don't want to feel so confined. And now, let's continue activating. Alright, there is still dangers in this position, so you don't have the luxury of just doing whatever you want. Bishop h6, for example, being one of them, you can't do something like that because this bishop would get too strong, your king would get so weak. You still have to find great moves. So try your best and find, what do you think is the best move for black here? You really want to give them the least amount of activity humanly possible. Taking the knight. I think that's also fine. Take, and then bring the bishop back. I think that's alright. But you have something pretty much much better. Something more more active. there we go. My online audience. In-person audience. Do you need more time? Sorry, what?
No, I'm listening.
Cool. So, yeah, the attack is going on. We want to try and take the attack apart. G6 is the way to go. If they decide to take, well, great, I'll just take this. If you take, I will take it again, and then your attack is gone. So, knight d4, check, and I just started to eat stuff. I probably should have played bishop f5 first, and then when the queen would move, then I can easily take that and then just block it. This would have been the more accurate way to go about it, but instead of bishop f5 to attack the queen, I went h5, and then I took, and then I just went for this simplification idea again, and opponents could have still tried to make my life a little more miserable because this knight up here is still pretty annoying. And I can try to go for f4, I can still try to eat stuff. There's still a lot of ideas that I can do that will give me a very comfortable position. This is already like +2, well I guess -2 for black. So I'm not really worried about how I would continue, but knight takes just made my life so much easier because I didn't really have to worry about this knight being here and not allowing me to free up my pieces. And my opponent continued for a few more moves, and I just went for it a little bit more, and queen exchange, voila. So the main idea that I had after I managed to gobble up some material was to simplify the position, neutralize the attack, simplify the position, and it granted me a win. So yeah, I remember that, so I was playing Noel Studer, I think Studer is the right way of pronouncing it, and I beat him, and then so I had this game in 2015, and then 2 years after this, he managed to beat Ivan Saric, and Ivan Saric had beat Magnus, well, unfortunately, before any of these two games happened. But that's how you can kind of see your Magnus numbers. So I beat Studer, Studer beat Saric, Saric beat Magnus. So does that mean I beat Magnus? Probably in some universe, somewhere, alternate timeline, something. I mean, the Matrix movie's coming up soon, or it's out already. I don't know. I don't know. I watched them last year, anyways. So a different timeline. Anyways, but I am going to go over the Studer Saric game more quickly because it's quite a long game, and I still want to show the other game that Saric beats Magnus 2. So let's keep going. I'm gonna breeze through the opening. If this is an opening that you play as white or as black, or if you have any type of questions in it, my first recommendation would be double check the St. Louis Chess Club video library. If it's not there, check some of your other favorite streamers. If it's not there, Leech's library, chess.com library, Chessable, there's so many chess websites out there. Tyranny of choices. It confuses everybody. Alright. So the position is getting a little more interesting in this game, and if I'm not mistaken, this was a team championship that they were playing. I think it was in Bundesliga, so I'm sure that they knew they were playing each other a little while before they went to the board, and they had some sort of preparation. And I feel like white kind of got out of the opening a little more comfortable than black, because this knight up here, it's not really doing much, and it's going to have to come back. The next move is just going to come back anyways. And it's weird because a lot of the ideas can just keep bouncing back and forth. Like right now, white might want to consider doing that. Right now, black wants to consider doing that. So the pawn structure is a copycat. Well, it's not a copycat, it's a mirror copy, there we go. and so it doesn't really it's not as exciting as the game that I just showed you. But yeah, so like for example, Noel went back and Ivan just went to c8, and they're just doing normal developments, and for the life of me I cannot figure out why does he like these knights to the corners. All right, okay, so a little more strategic. Oh, there we go, some g5. Okay, I can live with that. Now, a little more information about the players. So Studer was still not 2500, he's like 2470 something, and Ivan Saric is like 2660. So there is almost a 200-point difference, and 200 points in that level is also quite a lot, and it's also with K10. Like, oh my god, you know how much games you have to play? K40 is so different. K40, you win one game, you get like 40 rating points, and it's just like crazy. Oh my god, I never had that. I was lucky enough. I had K20. That was also painful. Anyways, so this is different. Like, Black is actually actively trying to create more chances for himself, and so he's playing a little bit more reckless, I would say, and that's part of chess. Usually one opponent is stronger, usually one opponent is higher rated, they're playing for something more, and they tend to be more aggressive, even psychologically, because they need that win, or they feel like they deserve that win because there's, you know, that rating difference. So they do. Like, I'm assuming if Black was lower rated, they wouldn't play this amazing, like, knight h5 and like pawn push and everything. DM, the K factor is published over. Yeah, I mean, for FIDE, yes. So your FIDE rating, depending on your age and depending on your rating, changes. If you are under 18 and if you're less than 2300, it's K40. Good luck. If you are between like 23, if you're above 18, regardless of your like, even if you're 1800, it's K20. It used to be K15 for everybody. I preferred that actually. And if you cross 2400, regardless of the age, it's K10. I know that there is going to be some changes to the rating system, very briefly, but I'm not so sure how and from when. Alright, so now that we've explained a little about how the rating system works, I'm gonna take a breather and ask you, as White, what do you plan to do with this guy? Are you gonna castle? Question mark. What about Black? Or is Black going to castle? I see a lot of head shakes. I see somebody hiding their face. Nice. Well, DM, I believe that the reason they made the K40 for under 18 was because the kids have such a, they don't, like, they can develop so much faster and they can just play so much better just for after a few months. And I never felt comfortable with it, because it also felt like, oh my god, Talia, if you look at Talia's profile, she would get like so close to 2300 and boom, 21 something, and then she would again like gain that rating. It's like it's a torture device. But yeah. Alright, so F5. I don't think anybody wants to castle, so, but we still need to develop. Your rook is fine where it is, so I'm not too worried about that. But you still have to be able to get comfortable about your center, because opponent has more space and your pieces are, your pawns at least, are very passive. So F3, logical, take, and Ivan went knight E7, opening the rook and some potential for knight G6, maybe some E5 someday. Noel went king F2 and Black started pushing. I like this push, honestly. It gives Black some future hope for H4s too. Knight G6 though, knight G6 does not seem right. Because remember, like maybe like 10, 20 minutes ago on the previous game, I was talking about how a lot of my students make mistakes with loose pieces. Welp, this is a loose piece. That oughta hurt. And this guy was like a 2660 Grandmaster as black, and loose pieces does not care about rating. Alright, so now white managed to get a little bit more out of the position, and he's playing very well as well. He's just activating his pieces one after the other. And see, compare this position to right before knight g6. Black is so much more active in the queen side, and black is holding over here. Knight g6 kind of messed the whole thing a little back and forth. It is not a great choice. Alright, so let's go back to the position that we were at right away. Queen d8, take, and queen f6. Alright, now, white has pretty dope advantage. How do we continue? The move here is, well, a little crazy, the best move, but there are other good moves as well. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. Can you try to find the best move? If not, still try to find other good moves. I have a question in chat about why don't they reset rating 2 years? Well, let's see. In the past 2 years, I have played very minimal rated games. So they would take away my rating. That kind of hurts. I don't want that. I worked so hard to, get the rating that I have. So same with the title. The rating and title, they're lifetime. They stay. Oh, I think I read this news recently about FIDE looking into doing like titles and norms in hybrid events. So like if you're playing online in specific tournaments and specific requirements, you might be able to get a norm towards your title. So I think that's great news, because in the past 2 years, since there were so limited FIDE tournaments, FIDE rated tournaments, it's hard to get a FIDE title. So good news. All right. Anything for white? Troy boy, I think you're tripping a little. Just a little. All right. I'm done talking about ratings. I have no other conversation about that. So, what do we do? Oh, rook g1. I can live with that. I agree. All right. Rook g1 is a good move, but it's not the best move. The best move is so weird. King e1. You're just gonna sing and walk away with your king. You can whistle if you want to, but the point being, you're just gonna walk away with your king. And even if opponent tries to get creative and you exchange it off, and then you just get king d2. Actually, first let's take that. And then king d2. And this position, because of the extra pawn that you have, is way more pleasant. Alright. This is like +3 at least for white. Alright. Rook g1 was played in the game, and black is still trying to hold. I don't fully feel comfortable with king f1 just because of how this closes is. I would just go king e1, honestly. But I'm not the one who played this, and white ended up winning the game anyways, so not much regrets. Although here there is a slight regrettable chance. White to move. How did you feel about the position of these two pieces? A little geometry, huh? The queen is under attack, but look, if you know me enough, you know I'm not gonna say no to pawns. And if take, boom, this will fall too. Yeah. And if they don't take, they are going to do what? If they don't take, what, queen h4, ooh. Can I just eat this now? No, this is too winning for whites now. But white, at 24-70, missed the chance and he went for queen f3. And then he just continued. He still has a very clear advantage, but queen d5 would have just made it so much easier. Anywho, I'm gonna try to go a little faster on the end game because I still want to show how black in a different game managed to beat Magnus. You know, that's kind of the cherry on top to show how I could have beaten Magnus in a different life. Alright, now this is a relatively comfortable end game. You just have to activate your pieces. Yep, there we go. And then we are going to continue activating. Yep. Maybe now king can come. Oh, this is good. Rook e6 is cool too. Beautiful. Bishop e2, trying to create some opportunities. Nice. Let's eat a pawn or two. Yeah, bishop d3 helps the knight get activated, so bishop f3 would be the way to go, because even if you take it, then I'm going to, well, get a piece. And if you move the rook away, then I can just defend this guy. So this would have been more comfortable. And no, queen d5 is a fine tactic. It works. Alright. So yeah. Bishop f3 was not played. Bishop d3. Oof. King g5 was the way to go, because now they are going to continue trying to activate the king and the knight. But good for white, and I guess for me, because if black didn't lose this game, I couldn't have said I beat Magnus. So knight h5, king up, and beautiful retreating. Nice. Nice. I guess that's fine too, but yeah, I kind of have to. Never mind. Bishop f3 doesn't really work. Knight e4 and piece activity. So when I talk about piece activity, I'm not kidding. Like, it doesn't matter how much more material you have. If you can't use them, I mean, why do you have them? Some people make the same argument about life objects. You know, like if you have a pretty dish and you don't use it, why do you have it? I think that's a slightly different. But in chess, if you have it and you don't use it, well. Yeah, so king up, king in. I don't know why this happened. Why not just take it and play bishop d7? Maybe they were allergic to pawns in this turn in this game. They just wouldn't eat small tactical pawns. No, this is fine. I think actually black could have held this. Still, white is more comfortable because of the piece activity, but anywho. So knight d7, king in, and beautifully done. Okay, why not rook e6? It's okay. Rook e3 is fine as well. And yeah, one of the big problems that black has is they don't have enough ideas. Yeah, they can eat this pawn, but what are you going to do with your bishop? If bishop e8, well, that's going to be a lot of fun for us. I'll eat that guy. This is falling, this is joining. Yeah, this will be too painful. So in the game, black went knight e8 check. King c5 is pretty much the only move. Bishop d7 and nice skewer. Shish kebab. And yeah, this is just pleasant. I'm quite happy with how this game is progressing. Okay, maybe we can eat one final pawn. Aw, no more pawns? It's okay. And forced rook exchange. So this was how white managed to beat this game. Another strong grandmaster. Ivan Saric lost as black. And now we are going to switch up from this game to how Ivan Saric managed to beat Magnus in less than 40 moves. So, there we go. Somebody checked their Magnus number. It's number 5. Great. Yeah, make sure to leave a comment or let us know in the chat of what's your Magnus number. Funny, Ivan Saric is the last link in so many people's chains. That's fun, because I mean, it's not every day that Magnus loses in a FIDE rated classic game to lower rated. I mean, everybody's lower rated then, but you get the point. All right, let's see how it's. Oh, beautiful, Rui Lopez. Ooh, yeah. I've tried this knight d4 as black. I never felt a strong connection to it. And if I'm not mistaken, this was played in Olympiad. Yeah, it was in Chess Olympiad. So it was like a, big important event. It wasn't just a online tournament. So, all right, we're gonna go more comprehensive. I mean, of course, Magnus had a lot of preparation in what he played, but still, I feel like knight d4 kind of goes against a lot of chess principles. All right, so there are a lot of different ways a black can play it. They can take c5, d5s. Here Magnus went for d5, logical. Take bishop e7, and here he went for bishop g4. Castle seems to be more loved, but bishop g4 understandable as well. Why don't people eat more pawns? I mean, I get it, there is c6, but never mind, it's transposed. We can play h3 first and then eat. Okay, I'm fine. I'm overreacting. They did eat the pawn, just a move later. Alright, and I'm gonna actually take a small breather here and ask you what to do as white. DM, feel free to use the link provided in the description below. I also realized somebody named Old Uncle Bob mentions something in the chat about me using the word anywho. Thank you, thank you. I don't want to sack anything. I just want to keep my pawns. Like, I just want to move the queen away. Queen c3 is alright too. I just want to move the queen away and I just want to develop. I want to play a chill game. I have 2 extra pawns against Magnus. Well, I don't, but white has. And alright, so knight c3 and yeah, rook e8 was not really not really what I'm comfortable with, because 4 and then what do? You want to play b5, I'm going to block that too. Hallelujah. First thing that comes to mind is a5. He didn't play that. He went queen g3. That's fine too. I'm having a little trouble understanding Black's ideas, well, I guess that's why he lost so fast. But alright, I'm gonna take another breather.
Sorry, what's wrong with rook e8? It seems kind of natural.
Right now?
Earlier when you said it was a bad
white just gets to play f4. Instead of rook e8,
yeah.
you have 2 less pawns, so you have to play way faster than chill the rook e8. a6, b5. a6, yeah, I can still do a4, but then maybe queen a5. So you pin this, you want to push this. White's only problem is that the bishop is stuck, so the rook is stuck. So if you give me some moves that I can free up my position, I'll be very happy. So yeah. It's still, white is still more comfortable, but if black wanted to steer something up, that would be it. Rook e8 is too chill when you're 2 pawns down. I don't have the hearts for it. But then again, me sitting here criticizing Magnus doesn't really feel that amazing.
Well, you beat someone who beat someone who beat it.
Exactly. So I beat someone who beat someone who beat Magnus. So there we go. you know, it's same stuff. Alright, so okay, now where were we? Oh, we were somewhere here. Oh, 94. Ooh. Take b3. Yeah, that's fine. I'm assuming d3 is alright too, but it gives rook e2. So just to not give that many chances, b3, queen move. Then okay, now d3. Let's bring the rook e2. And let me ask you, why to move? What do we do? And while you guys are gonna think about it, you want to take away my rating, Ben Simon?
No, you'll have a different rating.
But it will be taken away, little by little, decay.
We must improve to different rating systems as time goes on.
Okay, I agree with that.
Just as we improved over the old Harkness system.
Fair. But do you remember how it was so much fun? Like about 20 years ago, maybe a little more, FIDE decided that women were overrated, so it took like 50 points off every single woman chess player.
I thought they gave every woman 100 points.
I know that they took a 50 points. They might have given it 100 at some point, so I remember that story always hurt me when I think about it. If they took away 50 points of me, I would.
It's some of the
protest.
Questionable administrative decisions over the years don't really gel with the math of the system.
Yeah.
It's math. You can't change the math.
Yeah, the rating system can definitely be upgraded. I don't think that decay would deal with inactivity. That's hurtful.
It's really
But-
good.
Ouch! Stop trying to take away my rating. But yes,
Bishop e2. Developing threatened checkmate.
that's fair. I mean, I'm never gonna say no to developing, which also threatens to do checkmate. But what else do you got? You can also just move the queen somewhere else. Your idea is you're just gonna get a little bit closer. So when you get closer, it's gonna be more painful,
Okay.
more impactful. I think that's a better choice of word.
Comes with tempo as well.
Okay. So the idea is if you play bishop g6, then bye-bye bishop. If you play g6, then I mean, I could still no. This is a different type of bye-bye to bishop. I'm not too comfortable with this. Queen a5, stuff can happen when your king is this naked. No king should ever be this naked. No, bishop b2. Let's just go for the logicals. Bishop e7, bishop f6. Again, logical. And I mean, this is like a desperate try because if you take, you lose the bishop. Haha. But intermediate moves or in between moves. And now this makes a lot of sense because if you had to guess, how much do you think white is better? White has 2 extra pawns and amazing piece activity. Well, actually the third one is about to fall. Okay, now how much do you think white is better? No, don't look at the engine. Like, does it feel like a +2, +3, or does it actually feel like winning?
Feels winning.
It is pretty winning.
That is pretty winning.
Yeah. So, like, engine is giving it, like, plus almost 7, so... With the best move, which is rook e5, so... fun. Alright, yeah, and then we get to push, which is, again, interesting, because if you take, blunder will. So, even if you have more material, it does not guarantee a win. You need to still find moves, you need to still calculate, you need to still make sure your opponent can't do whatever they want. Bless you, question mark. Alright, so d6 makes a lot of sense. You interfere with this diagonal's creativity. And here, Magnus went rook e2. He's still trying to create something, but it's too late. The white's position is way too good. And it's not just the material, it's the actual piece activity. So here he tried to push for more, and white just chose a chill move such as queen f4, and which is super winning still. Bishop f7 is another way to try to wrap it up, but a bishop f7 after king takes, then we take over here. This is open, this is opened, this is about to join. Oof, hurts my eyes. Yeah. So queen f4 simplification. There is it's a very logical approach to this position too. And after g5, we take taki, and beautiful. Want to pick up another pawn? Yes, we do. What about this rook? I think it's time to join that rook. I really want this though. You know what? I understand. Let's go rook e7. So if any type of funny business, we get rook d7. Bishop takes d3. Ooh. Wait, could I just continue my funny business? I guess I could, but why not just take this and have 3 connected pass pawns? Oh, beautiful bishop h5. Might want to do different types of checks at this point too. Ooh, spicy. And Magnus here resigned. Yeah, so this was a very fun game for me to watch because it's always interesting to see, you know, world champions losing. Primarily because of the opening in this case. It's not like he blundered or anything. He just chose a weird opening that it didn't play off for him. And this is one of those things. That's why you need to know your openings. You need to be super prepared for your openings. And at the same time, it's very crucial to, well, as I said in the chapter in my recent book, prepare. Seriously, like it's not a joke. You gotta prepare. If you know who you're playing, you have to prepare. If you don't, then that's. Is there a better choice word for lazy? I wouldn't know. Anyways, so please leave a comment below about your Magnus number. Mine was 3. Let me know what's yours. So to sum it up, I beat Noel Studer, he beat Ivan Saric, he beat Magnus. So does it mean I beat Magnus? I'll leave that up for the viewers to decide on their own. And please stay around for our Switch to Twitch segment. We're going to be analyzing your games. So bring a game, Lee chess format, and meet us there in about 5 to 10 minutes. If you want, enjoy the rest of your year. I will see you in 2022. Bye, everybody.